as you are aging, you stop dancing. And how do you induce dancing? You have to be dancing outside. If you are very quick in actions, if you walk, you do physical exercises, and the external activity is going to induce internal activity. In fact, everything in our body is vibrating right now. Though we are seated here, it's vibrating. That's why we have to match with this vibration. Whenever you walk, whenever you talk, whenever you do your work, you have to do it smartly and maintain a good rhythm and speed there. Even the words we use, if we can pronounce them properly, we can vibrate them properly like mantras. When it comes to mantras, invariably the master tells you, mantra should be read asatoma sadgamaya tamasoma jyotirgamaya mrutyorma mutangamaya om shanti shanti shanti. Then profound empowering happens. When you enter mantra, great things happen. What is this mantra? Contains words only. Asatoma sadgamaya. Untruth to truth. These are all nothing but words. But we can also use our day-to-day words like mantras. When you talk to somebody, if you can talk and your conversation itself is a mantra, rendering a mantra. It's not that you are going to make it in that kind of a poetic way, but you can talk it, vibrate it properly when you are talking. And before that, you should be knowing the meaning of each and every word. Like mantras, if you don't know the meaning, it is a mere formality. You are chanting for nobody's sake. Even God also has no idea if you are not going to. Because this is not the language created by God, it is a language you have created. So you should be knowing the meaning. If you don't know the meaning, chanting has no meaning. Same way, every word we speak, we should have profound the idea of what we are speaking. Vibrate it properly. That's why words are called mantrikas. Mantras rather. Mantras. And every word has got letters. And every letter is called mantrika. In Sanskrit, the letters are called mantrikas. And when these mantrikas come together, they form a mantra, word. So if you understand, vibrate it properly, you can bring the world around you. You can convince people. Of course, you should have a nobility of purpose, not for cunningly, to hijack somebody, to deceive somebody. If you use this mantra, it's not going to work. It's going to boomerang. You have to use it for nobility of purpose. So with this brief introduction, let us go to the topic. Don't be in a hurry or worried about noting down points. There is no need, because that is the reason whenever I give a talk, I try to bring about a brochure. It contains the gist. It contains the gist. So you can take it home and you can read it again, not here. Okay? Second thing is, as you are listening, pay attention to me. There are a few things which I have not incorporated. Carry them in your mind. What you carry in the mind is going to help you, not what is there in the paper. Very often we say, okay, I have collected enough brochures. You go home, throw it somewhere, you forget about it, and then you are ready for the next topic. You don't know what has happened in the previous talk. So always, they like our good olden days, there is nothing like noting down, writing and all that. So it's all verbally we used to communicate. People used to incorporate it directly in the mind. That's why I say a good student, a Vidyarthi, is one who will go for an effective learning in the class itself. Effective learning by adopting what is called multi-sensory approach. What is multi-sensory approach? We have 5 senses. Out of that, 3 senses, if we can integrate and learn, then definitely you are learning effectively. And what is effectiveness? Getting the best results. Getting the best results of incorporating it and using it in your day-to-day life. So out of those 5 senses, minimum 3 senses we need to use it right now. One is the sense of seeing, vision. Vision triumphs all the sensory organs. See, eye-to-eye contact. When I am talking to you, you are going to see into my eyes. Eye-to-eye contact enables mind-to-mind contact. What is there in my mind is getting transported to your mind through eye-to-eye contact. Very, very powerful sense organ. When you see with your eyes, you are really not seeing with your eyes. You are seeing through your brain only. The brain is not functioning, you are not able to see. What a complex phenomena it is. You have this cornea. When a light ray hits your cornea, then it is conducted inside, and the lens will project it properly into the retina, onto the retina. If a lens is defective, you need to have external lens. Then it is projected onto the retina, and from retina through optic nerves it is conducted to the brain, and that particular part of the brain is going to have the right perception. Oh, here is a person, he is a known person, here is a wall, here is a light. You are able to perceive things. It's a very complex phenomenon. That's why this particular sense organ, we should not take it for granted. You are seeing, but you are really not seeing. If you are really seeing, you have to make it very complex phenomena where the brain is seeing you. Brain is actually seeing, not just your eyes. A lot of people keep their eyes open, but they are not seeing. That is one sensory organ. Second is sense of listening. Not just hearing. Right now we are hearing so many things. A lot of traffic, noise also. But we should be able to focus and start listening. And third, of course, physically we have to feel the vibrations. Right now, students, they keep writing down, noting down points, but here you are just listening. But still, you let your body be sensitive to the vibrations that are being generated. It's a